Good evening and a very warm welcome. This is Primetime News on TV1. I'm Theruni Karunaratna. We are coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. As always, we start off tonight's bulletin with a look at the headlines. Siri Dalada Bandana continues for second day. Thousands of devotees arrive in Kandy.
Sadhu, 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 Sambuddhu himi sadhu.
Local government representatives must be honest. No room for thieves. President highlights. Archdiocese issues statement on 2019 Easter Sunday attacks investigations.
ඇතරම අපි සෑහීමකට පත් වෙනවා මේ රජයේ විසින් ඒ පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය පිළිබඳව කරන්නා වූ පරීක්ෂණ සම්බන්ධව.
Sri Lankan delegation heads to the United States for tariff talks. Nagana Hirata Aurudu. Newsfirst celebrates Sinhala and Tamil New Year with the people. Sri Lanka secures spot in Asian Rugby Championship 2025. Starting off with news here at home, the Siri Dalada Vandanava, which marks a very special religious and spiritual experience for Buddhists worldwide, continued for the second consecutive day today. Now, thousands of devotees were present at the Sri Dalada Maligava in Kandy to pay their respects to the sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha. At the request of the President, the Siri Dalada Bandanava is being held under the guidance of the Chief Prelates of the Malvathu and Asgiri chapters and under the direction of the Diyavadana Nilame of the historic temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic in Kandy. The Sacred Tooth Relic has been placed in a display casket on a special platform in the Pirit Mandapa of the Dalada Maligava for devotees to pay their respects. Such an exposition of the sacred tooth relic is taking place after a period of 16 years. The Mahanayaka Therods have requested that all devotees attend in white attire. Following special religious observances conducted in honor of the sacred tooth relic at the Sri Dalada Maligava, devotees were granted the opportunity to venerate the sacred tooth relic from 12 noon to 5:30 p.m. today. The public will be allowed to worship the sacred tooth relic daily from 12 noon to 5:30 p.m. until the 27th of this month. Three main routes have been allocated for devotees present in Kandy for the Siri Dalada Bandanava.
මම ඉතාමත්ම සතුටුයි මේ දැන් සතුටුනාස වෙන පුදා ගන්න ලැබිච්ච එක ගැන.
හරිම සතුටුයි. කඳුළුත් ආවා ඇත්තකින්. ඒ තරම් සතුටුයි කියා ගන්න බැරි. ඔව්. අපිට හරිම සතුටුයි. කොච්චර අමාරුවෙන් වුණත්
සියසින් දැකගත්තා වාගේ දැකගත්තා වෙන පුදා ගත්තා.
බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දැක්කා වගේ.
අම්මා මොකද දෙන්න?
බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දැක්කා වාගේ. ඒ තරම් සතුටුයි. 7 වෙනි දාවේ. හවස 4යි මේ නුවරින් මේ පොලිමට එද්දි.
මොකද හිතෙන්නේ මේ අවස්ථාවේ?
ගොඩක් සතුටුයි ඉතින්. හිතා කියා ගන්න බැරි තරම් සතුටක් තියෙනවා.
ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමත් ඒ වගේම විහාරස්ථාන අධිපතිතුමන් වහන්සේලාත් ඒ අපිට ලබා දුන්න අවස්ථාව අපි ඉතා බොහොම සන්තෝෂයි. දුර බැහැර ගම් වලින් පැමිණිච්ච කට්ටිය දුක සැප බෙදාගෙන මේ ඉවසීමෙන් යුක්තව මේ අවස්ථාවේ දලදා වහන්සේ වැන්දා.
මේ ඇවිල්ලා මේකට වන්දනා කරලා අද හොඳට සතුටු වුණා. දවස් 3ක් මම හොඳට සතුටු වුණා. එහෙනේ.
හරි සතුටුයි කියන්න බැරි සතුටක් අපේ දලදා වහන්සේ දැකීම ගැන සියල්ලටම කියන්නේ හැමතැනින්ම ඇවිල්ලා වැඳ ගන්න කියලා. උතුම්ම දලදා වහන්සේ අපේ
මහා සංඝරත්නය හැට අප්‍රමාණ සතුටකට අපත්වල තියෙන මේ අවස්ථාවේදී එනිසා මේ උතුම් අවස්ථාව සියලු දෙනාම වන්දනා කරගෙන විශේෂයෙන් මම හැමදෙනාටම ආරාධනා කරනවා දලදා සම්දු පිහිට ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
කියා ගන්න බැරි සන්තෝෂයක් ආවා. හරි සතුටුයි. බුදුන් දැක්කා වගේ හරිම සතුටුයි පුතේ. මට කියන්නම කරන්න බෑ.
Devotees from across the island are arriving in Kandy to join the Siri Dalada Bandanava.
ඇත්තටම සතුටුයි අපි ගොඩක් දුර ඉඳලා දවස් දෙකක් වෙනවා දැන් පොලිමට ඇවිල්ලා. ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් වාසනාවන්තයි අපි මේ විදියට දළදා වහන්සේ ගොඩක් කාලෙකින් ප්‍රදර්ශනය කරන්නේ.
අපි සතුටින් ඇවිල්ලා දළදාව දිනවා. ගොඩක් සතුටුයි. ඉතින් ඊගාසරේ පෙන්නකොට අපි ඉඳින්නේ නැද්ද කියන දන්නේ නැහැ. යන්න අපි ආව කට්ටියම අද.
ඒක යාම වටනාගෙන් කට්ටිය තමයි.
දකුණු පළාතින් ඉඳලා ආවේ. හරිම සන්තෝෂයි.
අපි මේ දෙවෙනි වතාවට මේ ආවේ බලන්න හරිම සන්තෝෂයි.
ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් සතුටුයි. මොකද නුවර වෙලත් සීසින් දැක ගන්න හම්බෙන එක ලොකු භාග්යක් කියලා සැලකනවා.
එන්න අපිට අපහසුයක් වුණේ හට් ගහලා තිබුණා. ඒ කියන්නේ අවුවෙන් අපි ආරක්ෂාව, වැස්සෙන් ආරක්ෂාව මේ හැමදේම තිබුණා. ඊට අමතරව අපිට දන්සල් තිබුණා. රැත් දන්සල් දුන්නා අපේ හමුදාවේ මහතුරු දන්සල් දීලා තිබුණා. ඊට අමතරව ඉතින් මේ හැම සහයෝගයක්ම අපිට ලැබුණා. අපිට අපි නිදහසේ වන්දනාමාන කරගත්තා.
මේ සැරේ ඇත්තටම මිනිස්සුන්ට මේ හෙවන හදලා දීපු එක පුදුම සංවිධානයක්. ඒක හරිම සංවිධානාත්මක ලෙස කළා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම වතුර ජලය අපිට බොන්න වතුර එක හැමතැනම හදලා තිනවා. දම්සල් දීලා තිනවා. ඇත්තටම හරිම විශිෂ්ටයි.
Could a trip to Gaza put your US visa application at risk?
On to more local news now. President Anura Kumara Dissanayaka emphasized the importance of electing local government officials who will not misuse the funds that the central government carefully saves and allocates. Now, he expressed these views during a rally in Thalawakale. The National People's Power held another rally in Thalawakale this morning in the lead-up to the local government elections. The meeting was held under the patronage of President Anura Kumara Dissanayaka.
They made a huge issue claiming I said we wouldn't allocate funds to local government bodies. We are unlikely to win. That's completely false. What I actually said was this. We will not misuse the funds that the central government has carefully saved and allocated. We've worked tirelessly to eliminate corruption and waste. The Inland Revenue Department met every week to ensure a steady flow of revenue into the treasury. Now there's a group of thieves in Nuvarelia. Should we work hard, collect funds honestly and hand it over to them? That's not what we stand for. My stance is clear. If the central government doesn't steal, then the urban councils, municipal councils and Pradesh Sabhas shouldn't steal either. But what happened? The central government upheld integrity, yet some local bodies continue to misuse funds. The central government avoided waste, but the Pradesh Sabhas still squandered resources. While we worked hard, some of them did nothing. So how can we knowingly allow funds collected with such effort by the central government to be stolen at the local level? Should we really do that? No. We said we would not allow public money to be stolen. But they twisted our words and claimed we refused to allocate funds if they came into power. That statement reflects their mindset, because if they truly had clean intentions, they would have said, we won't steal either, so allocate funds to us too. But no, instead they claimed I said I wouldn't fund them. That speaks volumes about their thinking. What do we want now? A government where both the central government and the local government work, where neither the central nor the Pradesh Sabha steal, where no public institution wastes resources, where both levels of government work with the people in mind. So who deserves your vote? The National People's Power. They had 76 years. We've had only 6 months. And look what we've already done. There's still significant time left in the current mandate. And the next term must be ours too. I am the president. That's my responsibility. You are the citizen. That's your responsibility. The farmer has his responsibility. It's that simple. The president is not some elite figure. That's outdated thinking. They haven't modernized. Their lifestyle is different, disconnected, but we haven't changed. We are ordinary people who've stood with the common man and worked hard to develop this country. Other governments will never change. If they want to govern, let them first learn from us, instead of endlessly clinging to the past.
The president also commented on the actions that would be taken against individuals involved in fraud and corruption.
තමුන්නාන්සලටත් වඩා වැඩියෙන් මට තියෙනවා ඒ වුමනාව. දැනටවත් හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුරුගේ එක පුතේකට නඩු දෙකක් දාලා තිනවා. තව පුතේකට නඩුවක් දාලා තියෙනවා. මොකද දඬුවම් ලබා දෙන්නේ අධිකරණය. අපි තමයි පරීක්ෂණ.
You want the people who stole the country and committed fraud to be punished, right? I want that too, even more than you do. Right now, there are 2 court cases against the son of a former president. Another case is going on against his other son. We investigate, and when we find proof, we send the cases to court. And this is just the beginning. There will be more cases in the future for corruption, fraud and crime. Even now, 2 chief ministers are in remand custody. Another minister is also in remand. One more is in hiding. For years, there were 2 sets of laws in the country, one for the powerful and another for the ordinary people. If you're just a normal person, would you ever ride a motorbike without a license? Of course not. But there is Prados on the road that haven't been even registered. And that's because the people in power thought the law didn't apply to them. When there was a ban on importing vehicles, some ministers still brought them in and drove them around like nothing happened. 3 of those ministers are facing charges. And there will be more. Not long ago, the IGP went into hiding because he was scared of the police. Under our leadership in the NPP, we've made sure that everyone is equal before the law. Whether you're the IGP, an officer or a regular citizen, it doesn't matter. The same law applies to everyone. People should respect the law. People should be a little afraid to break it. Regular people already are. They follow the rules. They go to jail if they break the law. But the powerful, they've gotten away with everything for too long. Not anymore. If someone steals 2.6 million rupees, they could get 16 years in prison. Think about that. Do the math. Some of these corrupt people have stolen so much, they need to serve 7 or 8 lifetimes in jail to pay for it. That's how it should be. That's how it is in developed countries. Even now, in places like Newsfirst, ministers are threatening police officers. But we've made sure that the law is above all of us. No one gets special treatment. This is the policy we've started. Now, we need to protect it and make it even stronger.
ආය අපේ රටේ නීති ඉදිරියේ හැම දෙනාම සමාන රටක් අපි නිර්මාණය කරලා තියෙනවා. හොඳ නරකද? අපි මේක තවත් ශක්තිමත් කරන්න ඕන.
President Anura Kumara Dissanayaka highlighted education as the most effective strategy to lift people out of poverty. He also elaborated on the upcoming changes to be made through new educational reforms.
The one thing that can truly lift us out of poverty is education. But the sad truth is, most people still don't understand how powerful education really is. Right now, our education system feels like a burden on both parents and children. It's not helping our kids grow. It's just pushing them through exams. That's why in 2026, we are going to bring in real changes to the education system. We'll introduce new syllabuses for grade 1 and grade 6, so kids get a better start and stronger foundation. We'll also have an exam at grade 10, so we can help guide students early on before they get lost in the system. We won't let any child leave school without a clear plan, whether that's higher education or a career path. Every student will know what comes next. We will make them understand that a household with an educated child will prosper.
The president received an overwhelmingly positive response from the people. President Anura Kumara Dissanayaka said that there was certain information regarding the Easter Sunday attacks that cannot be revealed to the public right now. He expressed these views at a rally held in Badulla today.
I told our minister in charge of the police that there is an investigation underway that the entire country is eagerly waiting the outcome of. However, the next step of this investigation needs to be taken very carefully. Therefore, there are some information that you may not get to know right away. The investigations are being carried out by us. I can promise you that.
The Archdiocese of Colombo has expressed its satisfaction with the government's ongoing investigations into the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks.
We are satisfied with the investigation by the government into the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks. However, I personally believe it would be great if they could fast-track the investigation. We can see that the officials are investigating it genuinely. In the past few years, we saw the community stage protests and demonstrations demanding justice. But this time, we don't see preparations for similar demonstrations. The people believe that the president's word that those behind the attacks will be brought before the law will be punished, and that such an incident will not happen again.
Civil organizations point out that while there is some satisfaction with the progress of investigations into the April 21st attacks, the relevant authorities must remain attentive to several critical issues. Now, at two media conferences held today, it was stated that the ongoing investigations into the Easter Sunday attacks are showing positive progress.
We had hoped for justifiable answers to our requests. Some of them have been addressed, and we are pleased with that. However, unfortunately, some remain unanswered. Our first request was for the documents related to the investigations funded by the public to be made available to the people. These should be published and shared. Additionally, we asked that the public be informed about the progress of the investigations at least once every 2 months.
අපි මේ මොහොතේ අනුර කුමාර දිසානායක ජනාධිපතිවරයා ගැන විශ්වාස කරනවා. ඒකට හේතුව මොකක්ද? 2019 සැප්තැම්බර් 27 වෙනිදාන් පස්සේ මේ වර්තමාන රජයේ පත් වෙලා මේ ජනාධිපතිවරයා පත් වෙලා.
At this moment, we place our trust in Comrade Anura Kumara Dissanayaka. Why? Because since September 27, 2019, until the current government appointed individuals like Ravi and Shani, not a single suspect has been arrested. At this point, we can clearly speak about Sarah Jasmine. There have been 4 DNA tests conducted on Sarah. One of these tests was done on the last bone from the skeleton. From the information we've received, the forensic expert who conducted the test had dissolved that bone. After 6 years, we can confidently state that Sarah Jasmine did not die in a suicide attack inside the Marudu. Instead, she was murdered elsewhere. The evidence has been hidden and altered. While Pilyan is not the mastermind behind the Easter Sunday attacks, he played a significant role in aiding the mastermind through individuals like Zaharan. Therefore, he should either be labelled as guilty or come forward as a witness.
නැත නිශ්චිතයි. හැබැයි පිල්ලයන් කියන්නේ මහමොල කරුවන්ට සහරාන්ලා හරහා මේ ප්‍රහාරය දියත් කරන්න ආධාර අනුබල දීපු විශේෂ තැනක්. ඒ නිසා ඔහු එක්ක අපරාධකාරයෙක් වෙටියට නම් වෙන්න ඕනේ. නැත්තම් පිල්ලයන් පිළිගන්නවා නම් සාක්ෂිකාරයෙක් හැටියට එළියට එන්න. අපි නිරන්තරයෙන් ඉල්ලුවේ.
We have consistently requested an investigation into this matter, and we see that responsibility has now been taken. We have never imposed deadlines on this process. What we needed was for the investigation to begin, focusing on those who were killed and the evidence that was hidden. The start of this investigation is a victory for all those who have spoken out against the criminals behind the Easter Sunday attacks.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya stressed that the political culture which uses racism to cling to power must come to an end.
A rally led by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya was held in Mullaitivu with Member of Parliament Mailvaganam Jagadiswaran and others in attendance.
හරිම වෙනස් දේශපාලන සංස්කෘතියක් අද තියෙන්නේ. ජාතිවාදය නැහැ.
Today we see a very different political culture. Racism no longer plays a role. We don't use racism to divide people or turn them against each other just to hold on to power. We have far more important work to do. We are all citizens of this country and we all share equal rights. Each of us wants to live well and build a better future for our children. That's the kind of nation we must strive to build. We need to learn to embrace each other's differences and live together as Sri Lankans, respecting that diversity. The way I see it, the only political movement in the country today that can truly make that happen is the National People's Power. That's why we must take the historic journey of transformation that the people of this country began in 2024 one step further in the upcoming local government election. For the sake of our future and our children, let's make a thoughtful choice this time and build a clean, honest and trustworthy local government free from corruption.
පිරිසිදු හොරකම් කරන්නේ නැති විශ්වාසනීය ප්‍රාදේශීය සභාවක් ගොඩනගමු.
A Sri Lankan delegation has departed for the United States to hold key discussions following the recent decision by the US government to impose tariffs on imports on countries including Sri Lanka. Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning, Professor Anil Jayantha Fernando, said the talks are scheduled for the 22nd of April. The tariffs announced by US President Donald Trump on the 2nd of April at the White House target 60 countries that are part of a broader effort to narrow the United States trade deficit. Sri Lanka is among those affected, with a 44% tariff placed on its exports.
United States Trade Representative Office
Our team will be meeting with officials from the Office of the United States Trade Representative. The goal is to talk through the issues behind the tariffs, understand each other's concerns and look for common ground. We want to move beyond just short-term fixes. We are hoping to lay the foundation for a healthier, more balanced trade and investment relationship with the United States.
Sir Keir Starmer and Donald Trump discussed ongoing and productive trade talks, Number 10 has said in their first call since the US President imposed tariffs on UK goods. The Prime Minister stressed his commitment to free and open trade and the importance of protecting the national interest. A Downing Street spokesperson said the two leaders also discussed the situation in Ukraine, Iran and recent actions taken against the Houthis in Yemen. Sir Keir is hoping to secure a deal with the US after Trump unveiled 10% tariffs on UK goods and a higher 25% rate on imports of cars, steel and aluminium. A readout of the call from the White House said the two leaders discussed bilateral trade, ongoing talks to bring the conflict in Ukraine to a peaceful resolution and regional security in the Middle East. It added that Trump was looking forward to his upcoming state visit with His Majesty King Charles III in the UK later this year. US Vice President J.D. Vance said on Tuesday there was a good chance a trade deal could be reached with the UK. On April 2, 2025, President Donald Trump declared a 10% tariff on all imports, effective on April 5th, with additional country-specific tariffs set to commence on April 9th. But on 9th of April, President Donald Trump announced he would implement a 90-day pause for countries hit by higher US tariffs, except China, whose tariffs he raised to 145%. US President Donald Trump yesterday told reporters at the White House that United States is having good conversations privately with China amid the two countries' trade war. Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping has concluded his three-nation Southeast Asian visit in Cambodia, showcasing Beijing's dependability amidst regional economic concerns stemming from US President Donald Trump's proposed tariffs. Cambodia faces particularly severe reciprocal tariff implications from Washington. Beyond Trump's universal 10% tariff, the nation could encounter a 49% tariff on US exports after his 90-day suspension ends. The visit, Xi's first since 2016, concludes a three-nation tour that includes stops in Vietnam and Malaysia.
The US Department of State has initiated a comprehensive review of social media accounts for foreign applicants who have visited the Gaza Strip since 2007.
The US Department of State, under the direction of Secretary Marco Rubio, has initiated a comprehensive review of social media accounts for foreign applicants who have visited the Gaza Strip since January 1, 2007. This review applies to all types of US visas, immigrant and non-immigrant, including those for students and tourists, and covers individuals who have spent time in Gaza in an official or diplomatic capacity. Employees and volunteers of non-governmental organizations will also be subject to this screening process. The primary objective of this review is to identify potential security risks, and if any derogatory information related to security issues is uncovered, the applicant's visa submission will be referred for an interagency investigation to assess whether the applicant poses a national security risk. Rubio previously reported that his office had revoked over 300 visas since the beginning of the year, including those of student visa holders who have expressed criticism towards Israel's actions in Gaza. According to foreign media, this move has raised concerns as the US Constitution protects freedom of speech for individuals within the US regardless of their visa status.
Discussions between Sri Lanka and the International Monetary Fund on the fourth review of the Extended Fund Facility Program have officially commenced. The talks are underway in Washington, D.C. Deputy Minister of Finance, Professor Anil Jayantha Fernando, said that a delegation consisting of officials from the Ministry of Finance and Planning and the Central Bank has travelled to the United States to take part in these negotiations.
The local government election Sri Lanka 2025.
The official door-to-door distribution of polling cards for the upcoming local government elections began today. Postmaster General Ruan Kumara said that the distribution of polling cards is expected to be completed by the 29th of April. The 27th of April has been designated a special day for polling cards distribution. Meanwhile, the National Election Commission confirmed that distribution of polling cards for postal voting will be completed by the 21st of April. Chairman of the National Election Commission, RMAL Ratnayaka, said that in the event of a court ruling pertaining to a specific local government body, the distribution of postal ballots in that area will be delayed. Police said that 20 candidates contesting this year's local government elections have been arrested for violating election laws, along with 68 of their supporters. A total of 198 complaints have been filed with the police so far regarding election law violations and criminal activities linked to the elections. Meanwhile, the National Election Commission has received 101 complaints in the past 24 hours, the majority of which relate to violations of election laws. Since the announcement of the local government elections, the total number of complaints received has risen to 1,591, with 9 cases reported involving acts of violence.
If you do not perform, or if you have not performed, and if you do not perform, this is a protest vote we are going to place, and that signal, that protest vote will go down very well, because the government will know that their popularity is coming down and they will have to arrest him.
This government needs checks and balances.
You can't say only winning parties announce their candidates. There have been it has been time and time again where, candidates are chosen.
Our police is still being restructured and reformed at the moment, and that is part of the reason. But I also think organized crime is a bit unsettled at the moment.
Face the Nation every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m.
Every year, during the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, the whole country lights up. Food, firecrackers, games and family. But this time, Newsfirst decided to do more than just report on it. This year, we took the out of the spirit to a place that doesn't always get the spotlight, Kantale in the eastern province. And not as outsiders, not just with cameras, but with open arms, ready to celebrate with the people as one big family. The Newsfirst Bakma festival officially kicked off this morning at the Kantale Central College grounds. Government officials, public officials, staff and senior management of the MTV-MBC network, including Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group Sivan Daniel, Chief Operating Officer of MTV Channel Private Limited Yasarat Kamalsiri, Channel Head of Newsfirst Suranga Senanayaka, along with the people, joined this celebration. The opening ceremony was brought to life by local youth performers and school children, showcasing traditional Sri Lankan culture and talent.
We named this program Naginahirata Aurudu because we had a heartfelt desire to bring the spirit of the new year to the east. I still remember months ago when our team first sat down and decided that this year's celebration would be held in Kantale. Many people asked us why Kantale. Organizing an event of this scale in a place like this isn't easy. The infrastructure here is challenging. Some of the resources we needed had to be brought all the way from Kurunagala. But we never let those obstacles stop us. What mattered most was the shared belief we had, from our sponsors to the organizing team to the incredible people of this village. Everyone came together with one goal, to make this dream a reality. And today, as we stand here in Kantale celebrating together, I truly believe we've done just that. We've brought Naginahirata Aurudu to life.
ඔබට නැගිනහිරට අවුරුදු මේ අවුරුදු උත්සවය තිල්න කරන්නට අද සමත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. අපි දශක ගණනාවක්.
We've been in the media industry for decades, and over those years, we've seen this country go through many social and political changes. But what we are witnessing now feels different. It feels like something new is unfolding before our eyes. Think about childbirth for a moment. Every mother here knows how difficult it is. The pain, the struggle, the sacrifice. But after that pain comes something truly beautiful, a new life. A child is born. But the journey doesn't end there, does it? You can't simply walk away and expect the child to grow on its own. You need to take care of it, nurture it and protect it. Because it's new, it's fragile and it needs guidance. Right now, I believe our country is in that same place. We are going through the pains of something new, the birth of a more democratic, more hopeful future. And just like with any newborn, we all have a responsibility to take care of it. That responsibility begins with each of us. As we step into this new year, we need more than just hope. We need determination. The kind of determination that drives us to help this country reach its highest potential. But determination alone isn't enough. We've been given something powerful by nature. Our awareness, our ability to think deeply, to reflect and pay attention. That is our greatest strength. So, as we welcome this new year, let's carry that awareness with us. Let's hold on to that hope, that sense of responsibility, and above all, our shared vision for a better future. May this be the beginning of a truly prosperous and meaningful year for all of us.
මේ සියලු දේ හිතේ තියාගෙන අපි තාමත්ම ශාස්ත්‍රීක සුබ අලුත් අවුරුද්දකට මුල පුරමු. ඇත්තටම සැබෑ අවුරුද්ද තියෙන්නේ කොහෙද කියලා බැලුවොත් අපි හැමෝටම
If we really stop and think about where the heart of the new year truly lives, we all know the answer. It's in the village. That's where the spirit of the new year comes alive. I came across a post on social media recently. Someone had joked that Colombo looks so beautiful when all the villagers leave their hometowns. But that kind of thinking misses something important. It comes from people who don't really understand the beauty of a village. The truth is, Colombo itself is made up of villages. It's a city built by the hands and hearts of the people from every corner of this country. So, to those who say the city looks better when the villagers leave, remember, when the villagers go home, it's not just Colombo that becomes beautiful. The village radiates a kind of beauty that no city skyline can match. And that beauty comes from you, from your love, your respect, from the strength in your hearts, the unity in your actions, and the resilience in your spirit. It's because of that spirit that this country keeps standing tall, no matter the challenge.
වැටෙන්නේ නැතුව ඕනම ව්‍යසනයකදී නැගී සිටින්නේ. කන්තලේ ජනතාවට ගමට
It's truly heartening to see Sirasa bring the spirit of the new year to the village and especially to the people of Kantale. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity this has created for our children and our community. These events awaken something powerful within us. They remind us of the beauty and tradition and help keep the essence of the new year alive right here in our villages. They allow us to proudly share our heritage, not just with the rest of the country, but with the world. I sincerely thank Sirasa for coming to the village and shining a light on what truly matters. When a media organization chooses to do something meaningful, Sirasa is always leading the way. If you ask me, when it comes to doing something good for the people, Sirasa is at top.
From lively races to beloved outdoor games, the day was filled with traditional New Year celebrations. The festivities were rich with Sri Lankan tradition and culture, highlighted by special features such as the Kaviligama, proudly sponsored by Eslon. As part of the festival in Kaviligama, a special program dedicated to the preparation of traditional New Year sweets was also held yesterday. The army, police, civil defence, Kantale government and public officials and many others came together to organise this wonderful New Year celebration. Numerous private and government institutions came together to support the celebrations. Classic favourites like the blindfolded challenge of Kana Muttibindima, pinning the eye on the elephant, were all crowd pleasers. One of the standout moments of the day was the high-energy Kabaddi tournament. One of the crowd favourites was the selection of the Aurudu Kumara and Kumariya. Nearly 60 young contestants took part, each hoping to walk away with the title and honour.
අවුරුදු කුමරිය විදියට අභිෂේක ලබන්නේ
අංක 3න් තරග වැදුණු
Kavisha Kavindi was crowned the Aurudu Kumariya at the Naganahirata Aurudu celebration today. She was gifted an electric bike. Meanwhile, Dilan Meuranga was crowned the Aurudu Kumara at the Naganahirata Aurudu celebration.
Anka 25න් තරග ලැබූ Dilan Meuranga Naganahirata Aurudu Kumara 2025.
ධර්මරත්න මහතා අතින් තමයි මේ ස්කූටරය අවුරුදු කුමරාට ලබා දෙන්නේ.
Newsfirst with the people brought New Year to Kantale today with Naganahirata Aurudu. The day was filled with games, New Year festivities, New Year celebrations, and with the love, laughter and joy of the people of Kantale right here at the Kantale Central College grounds. Now for the highlight of the day, it was definitely the Newsfirst Aurudu Kumara and Kumariya. For the grand finale of Naganahirata Aurudu, it is going to be a musical extravaganza by Kurunagala Bachi, a renowned band right here, who will be performing right here on this stage tonight. So for the people of Kantale and for the people who have tuned in to Newsfirst, you can witness a musical extravaganza tonight right here at the Naganahirata Aurudu. Reporting to you from Kantale, I am Hashni Patirana for the Newsfirst team.
Newsfirst with the people.
Shakti Crown is back with its much anticipated second season, and the search for Sri Lanka's next singing sensation is officially underway.
Auditions have already begun for Shakti Crown Season 2, with talented singers from across Sri Lanka stepping up to showcase their vocal skills. Today the auditions were held in Hatton at the Golden Mahal, where many hopefuls turned out, each bringing their best to impress the judges.
வாசமொன்றை கொண்டானடி கண் சொல்வதை தன் வாயில் கூறாமலே என்னை கொன்று சென்றாலடி
பிரிந்தாலும் என் அன்பு ஒரு போதும் பொய்யில்லையே இடைவெளி எதற்கு சொல் நமக்கு உன்னானம் ஒரு முறை விடுமுறை எடுத்தாள் என்ன.
And the journey does not stop there. Tomorrow the auditions move to the Kandy City Centre, where more hopefuls will get their chance to shine. Shakti Crown could be your getaway to the international stage. Don't miss it.
Sri Lanka qualified for the Asia Rugby Championship 2025 after beating Malaysia in the playoff.
The Asia Rugby Championship 2025 playoff was held today at the Colombo racecourse in front of a large crowd that included both local and international fans. Sri Lanka started the match with great energy and skill, scoring 33 points in the first half. Malaysia was only able to score 7 points during that time. In the second half, Sri Lanka continued to dominate the game. They added another 26 points, while Malaysia managed just 12 more. Sri Lanka scored 9 tries and made 7 conversions. Malaysia scored 3 tries and made 2 conversions. With this win, Sri Lanka joins Hong Kong, the United Arab Emirates and South Korea, who have already qualified for the tournament. The winner of the 2025 Asian Rugby Championship will qualify directly for the next Rugby World Cup.
In a race like no other, robots and humans lined up together at the starting line of a half marathon in Beijing, China, marking the very first time the two have ever competed side by side in an official race.
More than 20 two-leg robots competed in the world's first humanoid half marathon in China. And though technologically impressive, they were far from outrunning their human masters over the long distance. After setting off from a country park, participating robots had to overcome slight slopes and a winding 21-kilometer circuit before they could reach the finish line. Just as human runners needed to replenish themselves with water, robot contestants were allowed to get new batteries during the race. The first robot across the finish line, Tiangong Ultra, created by the Beijing Humanoid Robot Innovation Center, finished the route in 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's nearly 2 hours short of the human world record of 56 minutes and 42 seconds held by the Ugandan runner Jacob Kiplimo.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Take care. Good night.